Good afternoon, this is vk3sl. Welcome to the last in the series of these Corona missions, or the last official one. I'm sure there'll be more, but I'm not sure what form it'll take in the future. I'm going away tomorrow, and I'll be away for probably the rest of the week. And then again next week, and it's all happening over January, because it's the holiday break and we're free. We're cut loose. We can do what we want. So, in a way, these missions have sort of fulfilled their purpose. But there is so much OTR material here and at my disposal. I'm really quite excited about doing something continuous. Of course, we always have our Friday night sessiones as well, so ample opportunities to explore Muzak, or modulated sound. And yeah, just a reminder that these are tone tests on 160 metres in the narrowband FM mode, and also streaming online. There is a streaming service, which is a YouTube channel, and all you need to do is put my call sign into YouTube, into the search engine. That's vk3sl, and you'll find the link to the missions and the hundreds of episodes. In fact, I don't think we've missed a day since I think it's last March or early May, something like that. It goes way back, and in fact I think I started at the very beginning of the first lockdown, so it's had a fair continuum. And so, yeah, this is a little bit historic in one sense. But look, I do refer people to the blog page if you wish to keep up with what's going on. And I probably won't be putting notices up super regularly, but here and there I can advise if there's any sort of rhythm to the afternoon missions again or whatever. But I certainly will be testing in between trips. And as I said, probably exploring OTR excerpts and recording some of the collection, but maybe not as comprehensively or as continuously. So there we go. Well, it's to finish off, just to sort of wrap things and to put it all into context, we do have a recording on the table. It's a recording from the Ministry of Post-COVID Reconstruction. Yes, folks, we have a veritable time machine. What comes around goes around. Some things just never change. So let's have a listen to this, and this will set the scene for the rest of the program. VK3sl testing.
I've delivered your letter. I've mended your boots. I was a labourer, message boy, truck driver, a builder. I was a reporter, a student, a musician. Yes, I'm one man, yet I'm all men. Right now, I'm wearing jungle green up in New Guinea, oil-stained overalls in a munition factory, dungarees dirty with the red dust of the outback. Yes, I'm all of those men. And when I come back from the war, when the munition factories no longer want me, I'll be needing a job. Will there be one for me? Or will it be the same as after the last war?
1920.
What a life. Plenty of jobs, plenty of money.
Yeah, but look at the prices. They've skyrocketed. It's crazy. It can't last.
1921.
I told you it wouldn't last. Look how things are now. We're in for a depression.
Oh, it's only temporary. Things will pick up. You'll see.
1927.
There you are. I knew everything would be all right. The people say we've made a recovery. A slow one, sure, but we're on the right track.
1929.
So we've recovered. Recovered for what? The worst depression in the history of the world.
Yes, I guess you're right. What was the use of the war? We won it with our blood, yet we've lost the peace through our neglect.
1930, 1932, 1933, 34, 35. Long, slow years of unemployment, hunger and want. Slowly, but oh how slowly, the nation made its recovery. By 1939, Australia had struggled towards reasonable prosperity. Unemployment figures had dropped. The sun shone again. Then, war.
Excuse me, but I'll take over from here. War is the people's business. We're the ones who win it or lose it. That we will win, there's no doubt. But will we win the peace? That, too, is our business.
May I interrupt?
It depends on what you have to say. Who are you?
Call me Reconstruction. Post-war Reconstruction.
Your title sounds impressive. What have you to tell us?
Plenty. I have a plan for the peace. I'd like you to tell me what you think of it.
I will.
First of all, there's your job, the one we've planned for you after the war. During the war, the Australian industry expanded by leaps and bounds. Full use must be made of that industry so that there'll be full and continuous employment for all.
That sounds intelligent.
It's not enough to make work available for every man and woman requiring it, but it must be the right work for the individual.
I fully agree.
Many will want training for their job, educating for their professions. University and technical college courses will be open for those eligible. They will receive training, books, living allowances, at the government's expense.
You have planned well.
Thank you. Then there's the housing problem. Slums must go, and in their place there must be solid, modern, hygienic houses of which a man may be justly proud. The people must have social protection from economic setbacks of sickness and disability. The people must develop in a land that is free from, as the Atlantic Charter puts it, free from want, freedom from fear.
That's the post-war Australia we want.
That is the post-war Australia you'll get. But remember, the task will not be easy. Nothing is ever easy in this world. These tasks Australia will face are so big that they must be planned on a national basis. But carrying the plans through to action will tax the resources of all our authorities, whether they're Commonwealth, state or local. Remember, only we the people can help to realize this. It's up to us.
You have been listening to a program presented by the Ministry of Post-War Reconstruction.
There we go. So what happened in 2020? I wonder. And that can set the scene for our last program in the series, or last official program, because I'm sure there'll be a lot more. Now, what I thought I'd do today is play a replay of a part of the program we played, of part of Friday night's missions. So we had a very special live event last Friday. We were lucky to have Mr. JR, Frank, and Jamie. Mr. J is our resident collector and enthusiast and brains trust and extraordinary encyclopedic go-to person for all matters radio related and history, and he was also a special guest, and they all came round and we had a live session. So it was great. It was a late night session. The taxis rolled up and out our guests arrived, and it was just terrific. And we went for hours. I think we went to about 4:30. We won't have time to play the whole 4-hour program now, but we'll play a segment of it, the first hour and a bit maybe. We'll see how we go. And so give you a taste if you're missing out on the late night programs. This is the sort of thing we get up to. And there's also a log, of course, of all the programs up on the YouTube channel. So I think that's enough information for now. Don't forget there is a blogspot, vk3sl.blogspot.com. That's the place where I can communicate with the listener at large. So, yeah, if you need any updates, I'll try and supply them there. All right, sit back, and this is the test mission program from last Friday, the 11th of December 2020. This is vk3sl. Good evening, this is vk3sl and welcome to the evening missions. It's good to be back again on a Friday night, and I'm very happy to say that we have two really special guests face to face in the booth. We have Frank and Jamie here
Hello,
in person.
Steve. Hello, Frank. It's wonderful to be here in person.
It
Good
is.
day. Yes, it's so
It's
good.
been a
mate.
dream of mine for many months
Yes, likewise. And
to be here.
it's
Yeah.
finally happened, so that
Yes,
it's a
it's
real sign
wonderful.
that the lockdown is falling away.
It
Yes,
is,
testament.
absolutely.
Here we are, testament to that.
And good evening, special good evening to the listener.
Indeed, absolutely.
Listeners, Frank.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
well,
yes,
I
yes,
was
there's
talking-
two of them out there.
Not just one. Right.
So yeah, well, this is it is a historic occasion. We've made room in the booth.
Yes.
We've moved a bit of furniture around and found our place.
We squeezed our way in.
We're all set up, ready to go for a big
Yes.
evening of OTR,
Yes.
OTR magic, and what have we got?
Well, I thought we'd have a mixture of OTR and a bit of Vitatoni.
Oh, Vitatonics,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Well, that's it.
I'm sneaking in one jazz record.
Oh yes, well I think we'll start with your offering there, Frank. Yeah, well, you give us the lowdown on what this is, or the up, down, or low down.
It's a recording of a great jazz pianist who had a very long life in the jazz world called Earl Hines. And Earl Hines started in the 20s recording with bands like the Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, he made recordings of the Louis Armstrong Hot 5 in the 70s.
He certainly did. And he was still going very strong in the 70s, right well into the 70s. And he didn't stay playing the old New Orleans jazz. He progressed. Not only did he progress with the times, but he actually was leading development in jazz piano. He was on the forefront of it. And a truly great figure in jazz piano. And he visited Australia in 1972. And while he was here, when he first arrived, they played him Waltzing Matilda. It was sort of inevitable. We trot out Waltzing Matilda, to the musicians, and he'd never heard it before. And he happened to be in a place where there was a piano, and he listened to Waltzing Matilda being played, and he said, "I'd like to have a try at that." And he played it just off the cuff and improvised on it, and it was recorded. It was actually in a recording studio when this all happened, and he made this recording, about a 7-minute long take on what he thought of Waltzing Matilda after one hearing. And that's what I'd like to play.
Sounds excellent, Frank. Let's have a listen. I think it's queuing up, ready to go. Waltzing Matilda.
Well, I think he imparted a fresh touch to
Yeah.
a very old, well-worn tune.
Yeah, he did.
amazing.
Very fluid.
Very fluid.
Meanderings,
Yeah.
whimsical meanderings.
All of that. It's a great lightness about it,
Yeah.
and not taking it too seriously,
Lots
yet
of
not
fun.
trivialising it.
No, that's it. He didn't. He kept the flavour of the piece,
He did.
and
he did.
yeah, that was good.
On what age he was in 1972.
Or fairly advanced, I'd say.
Yeah, he would have been getting on. We could look him up. So Earl Father Hines. We're sort of wondering where the father might have come from. Did he father many children? I wonder.
Yes.
I don't know.
Who
I don't
knows?
know.
We'll investigate. But thanks, Frank. That was great. That was a really it's a terrific track, and that's from the Swaggy Compendium, isn't it? That's
It
from,
is. It is indeed. Thank you to the widow of Neville Sherburne, who used to.
Yes,
to
founder of
own,
Swaggy.
Swaggy, that's right. She very kindly gave me that recording.
Okay.
Maureen, if you happen to be listening, I don't
Yeah.
think you are. But,
Yeah, sure.
And now I understand that Wayne's
Yes,
listening
just
to
got
us.
an email from Mr. Wayne, so he's out there listening.
Hello,
and-
Mr. Wayne.
Yay!
That's
So
Jamie's calling you.
he sends his best, and so thanks, Wayne. Yeah, it's good
Yeah,
to good to hear from you.
Good to hear you listening there, Wayne.
And just letting people know we're actually having a face-to-face live session today.
I hope we keep you awake for a bit longer.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, you're going to keep us awake for the next few minutes, Jamie.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
I think you've got something a bit special,
Yes.
keeping us though in the jazz idiom.
Well, yes, very appropriately, talking about Earl Father Hines. Sadly, I learnt last Friday a week ago today, the passing of Gillian Lee, who was a very fine musician. He's a totally blind person, came from New Zealand, came out here in the late 50s. And I'm going to play an excerpt of the Ford Show from 1959 with Gillian Lee as a guest star. He was a very versatile performer, and he was born in 1923. He spent quite a number of years in America working for Capitol. He wrote a lot of commercials and themes, and one that comes to mind is the Dr. Paul intro that was heard on radio for many years. So he was good friends with people like Don Burrows and James Morrison, very renowned musician, Julian, and a lovely person. I probably knew him for about the last 10, 15 years or something like that. And he had a great sense of humour and just a lovely person. Spent the last number of years in a wheelchair because he had a number of strokes. And he was, 97? So a lovely man.
Wow, 90, yeah,
Yeah.
1923. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
And he was a great fan of talking books and things like that. And we had many conversations over the years about his books and helping him with his his players and things like that.
Okay.
And he's always keen to access other content. And he had such a great. He had such a great attitude for some, given his limitations in later years, and so my thoughts with his wife Val, and anyway, I just thought it'd be
Sure.
nice to pay tribute to Julian. He also did a lot for music in this country. He was a great supporter of musicians in this country. That, for example, the blind music camps that were run every year in Wollongong since the mid-1980s. He had a lot to do with that. He attended many of those camps for children from, I think it was 6 to 16 or 17. They'd run these camps every year up in Wollongong with run by Ian Cooper. Frank, of course, who you know.
You remember him well.
Just a wonderful person, and I think we should enjoy this little bit of radio nostalgia going back to the Ford Show in 1959.
okay, fine. Thanks for that. I didn't know much about Julian, but it's great. I'll look forward to having a listen here. All right, let's queue up and hear it.
Guest star time at the Ford Show, and this week we present a young multi-instrumentalist from New Zealand. Pianist, saxophonist, trumpeter, vocalist, composer, and arranger is the remarkable list of abilities of our guests. And, ladies and gentlemen, this man is blind. So let's give a big welcome to Julian Lee. Julian Lee, welcome to the Ford Show.
Thank you very much, Hayes. Thank you very much.
Well, I'd like to be able to talk about your remarkable artistry, and I'd like to do that in just a moment. But first, a word about other things. Do you mind telling us a little bit about your blindness?
Not at all. If there's anything you want to know, Hayes, I'd be only too delighted.
Well, tell us, how long have you been blind?
Well, as long as I can remember, which is a fairly long time now, and it's getting longer every day, I'm afraid.
We realize, of course, that blindness doesn't always mean total blindness. You do have a percentage of vision, haven't you?
No, I haven't any vision at all, actually, Hayes.
None whatever?
None whatever.
Then how do you manage to do those remarkable arrangements?
Well, I have a very capable wife, as a matter of fact, and
a very lovely one, too, we
well,
imagine.
we won't go into that. That's my prerogative, I think.
And you're both very lucky people.
Well, she actually writes all my manuscripts for me. She hasn't been doing it long, so if there are any mistakes in the score, fellas, well, just be reasonable.
Well, let's hear that score, shall we?
Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Why don't you trade 'em for a package of sunshine and flowers? If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all the solo instruments you heard were played by our one man. And the Ford Show says thank you to our blind guest star, New Zealand's Julian Lee.
Well, how's that for an extraordinary multi-instrumentalist?
Oh, it's amazing, and quite moving for me to hear that. Gillian, you know, his personality shone through in his playing, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you're saying you knew him in later life, Jamie?
I did, yes, yeah, and he was had such a wonderful sense of humour, such a great attitude, such and just always had great jokes and
you really do get a sense of the personality of the playing, especially the trumpet playing.
Oh, yeah, that was out of the box.
We had a real swagger, didn't it? To the
very highly revered amongst the in the radio in the sort of
in the
entertainment industry.
Sure.
Yeah.
And piano playing, very virtuosic.
Certainly was.
Yeah.
Was.
Had that wonderful sweep.
Probably not as well recognised in some ways. I think in some ways amongst his sort of
His
line peers, unfortunately. I think.
No.
But certainly, certainly well respected with people that I know. But certainly an inspiration to many.
Great. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'd be keen to hear some more of his work. And I wonder if there are many recordings of him fronting big bands.
Yes, there are. A friend of mine is putting together a 4-part documentary to sort of celebrate his life. A friend of mine in Western Australia, and I'll certainly will be utilising that those recordings when it comes to me.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it'd be excellent. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
No, that's a real.
I have got I actually sort of hesitated. I thought, what do I play? I've got a very nice interview with Julian Lee with Bert and Paddy Newton going back to 3UZ, and Julian's performing at the auditorium at 45 Burke Street, playing the piano and chatting away to Bert.
Sure.
And I was tempted to play that, and I sort of thought, no, let's focus on.
I think the multi-instrumental thing really, it says a lot.
It does, yeah.
Picks up on the breadth of his talent. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right.
And you got to hear his sense of humour shone through as well.
Absolutely.
I like his little quip there.
Yes, yeah.
His wife.
His lovely wife.
And his lovely wife. So he would have only been, 20, 30 35 or something. Then,
Okay.
34, yeah.
He was married a few times.
Yeah, he's had 3 or 4 wives.
Okay.
3 wives.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay.
And lived in New South Wales up in Barrel for quite a number of years.
Yay. Good. Oh, that was most excellent.
Certainly was.
All right, so we've been sort of mining your archive here, Jamie. You've got the big box. You've got
Yes.
the big box, and we're sifting through it, and
Yeah.
out come an old ABC disc.
Yes, talking about jazz and very talented performers. Here's a Jeff Brook recording with Teddy Preston. Steve, you might be able to tell us what it's called.
Yeah, it says on the label, it's a typed label, on an ABC typed label. It says Mary Hill is the name of the track. So, yeah, Jeff Brook and the Ted Preston Trio. This is vk3sl, testing on 160 and 2 metres.
That sweet September on Memory Hill, I still remember. I always will. Then came November, the crisp autumn chill, so died the ember of Memory Hill. Oh, how my heart has yearned since we said adieu. But now my heart has learned sweetest dreams never come true. That sweet September still gives me a thrill as I remember our Memory Hill. Oh, how my heart has yearned since we said adieu. But now my heart has learned sweetest dreams never come true. That sweet September still gives me a thrill as I remember our Memory Hill.
Very laid back.
Isn't that lovely?
It was great. Yeah, Jeff Brook and the
Teddy Preston
and the
Trio.
Ted Preston. So that's ABC Fair.
That's an ABC recording.
Wow. Back in the we're trying to date it. It says here on the label 1954 was the last.
Yeah.
This is from the ABC record library, and it says 54 was the first time it was used. So I presume.
Yeah, date from that. Sounds like about a 1953, 54 recording, doesn't it?
Yeah, 78 on vinyl, which is nice.
Yeah, we were talking about Jeff, and of course he was a prominent jazz singer, but also a broadcaster on 3KZ with the Supper Club. I remember him when I was young doing fishing
Oh, yes, he
reports
was a
on
big fisherman.
3LO and things
Yes,
like that,
yes,
or
he was.
3DB and different stations.
He was very much into fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and you had a personal connection.
I did, yes. He my stepmother and he went out for a number of months.
Okay, right.
It was quite a while. I forget how long it was, but
Yeah, sure.
she and my father separated, and then I didn't divorce for many years, and she used to go to the shows and things, and
Jeff Brook was on the scene.
Jeff Brook was on the scene.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's good. No, he's evidently quite young on that recording. The trio is very cruisy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, good one. Excellent.
Would we like some more Jeff Brook?
Oh, yeah, we could.
Why not?
I'll hand you another recording.
Another one. Pass the record
This is
over the thing. Yeah.
This is much earlier.
Okay, let's have a look at this one.
It's a Legionnaire record.
It is BBB, it says. Slumber Song number 1 and BBB Slumber Song number 2.
They were mattresses. BBB
Yeah,
were mattresses.
that's right.
Were they?
Yes, they made mattresses.
So this is a 78 acetate.
It's a vinyl pressing.
Oh, yes. Is it? Yes, it is.
I think it's an inside start.
Oh, no, it says outside start.
Oh, outside start.
Yeah, it is. It's a Legionnaire. Legionnaire are interesting records. Give us the rundown on Legionnaires.
Legionnaire were a follow on from Feature Radio.
Okay.
And they're only around for a short time, and then they evolved to Broadcast Exchange. So does it have the address on the label of the Legionnaire?
Yeah, I think it does. It says Legionnaire Sound Productions, PTY 68 to 70 King Street in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So there we go.
They're only around from about, 1940 to 41 or something. Like it's only a short period.
Yeah.
But, I always like their recordings. They're hard to find. And
they're pretty specialist. Okay, well, let's run with this now.
BBB Slumber Song.
Slumber Song.
So this would be an ad.
It'll be an ad for sure.
Okay, great.
At the dawn of the day, we awaken to say, this is no time to dream. For there's much to be done, and there's work for each one. For life is a restless dream. But when the shadows of evening are falling, the Sandman so softly is calling. Though you're worried and blue, there is waiting for you a BBB bed where care is shed. So let's call it a day. The cloak of care we all must wear, let's cast away and drift down peaceful streams aboard the ship of dreams. The day has been crowded with no time for ease, but now the haven of comfort is here with 3Bs. So close your eyes and So close your eyes and start in dreaming while we are singing our slumber song.
Jeff Brooke, didn't he sound young there compared to the, younger compared to the previous recording with Teddy Preston?
Yeah.
But the BBB Slumber Song.
Yes, very soporific and very soupy strings. And very well recorded, I thought.
Yes, and beautiful orchestra. I wish I knew who it was, and I wish I'd had the foresight to ask Jeff who was the orchestra.
That's an
But I
interesting
don't think I
point.
had the record at the time that I knew him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Otherwise, I would have asked him.
Yeah, it would have been good to get. It's you just wonder. I suppose a lot of these groups, they just would have been scratch orchestras or assembled musicians. Lots of work for musicians back in the 40s, 1941, wasn't it? That recording.
Yes, about that.
Yes, one of our listeners was born in 1941. Someone very well known to me.
Right.
And
Then that record's coming up to 80 years old. That's
yes, it certainly is. All right. Well, that's great. Well, we've got something else interesting. Another ad.
Yes, we're in the ad mode at the moment.
We are. We are listening to advertisements, and this one's for an HMV Gramophonics.
1937.
Wow.
For more than 40 years, his master's voice has brought music into your home, ever since records were first made. Now, his master's voice announced a new low-price table radiogram in which is incorporated two instruments in one, a superb radio and gramophone combined. The choice of the world's greatest recorded music, in addition to high-quality broadcast reception from your favorite stations. The music you want, when you want it. This new His Master's Voice table radiogram is the best and most complete home entertainer ever produced at the price. Behind it is a background of 40 years, knowledge, experience, and leadership in the world of music, exemplified in the name His Master's Voice. Ask your nearest His Master's Voice dealer to demonstrate this new radiogram to you. It can be yours on the payment of a small deposit
And the balance in easy weekly installments.
Remember, it's designed especially for Australian conditions and is backed by the world's most famous trademark.
His Master's Voice.
Thank you. perfect greats to have at your command whenever you felt inclined. Music for dancing, for entertaining your friends, or simply for pleasing yourself. In other words, the privilege and pleasure of listening to records of your favorite songs or melodies sung and played for you by world-famous artists at any time of the day or night. You can have all this now, and at a very low cost, as little as £4.19 and sixpence, the price of an His Master's Voice record player. The possession of an His Master's Voice record player will double the entertainment value of your present radio set. By simply plugging it into your radio receiver, your favorite records are reproduced with the same volume and clarity of tone that you're accustomed to when listening to broadcast programs of recorded music over the air. Remember, you can do all this for only £4.19 and sixpence. Ask your nearest radio dealer for details.
Well, there we go. Did it have the magic fifth valve, I wonder?
There we are, the end of that record.
Yeah, so £4 back in
1937 was a lot of money.
That's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it? That would have been more than a week's wage for most people.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Oh, easily. I wonder where you plug it in. They must have had...
In the light socket, didn't they, in those days?
No, it's got to be plugged into the receiver.
Yeah, I think receivers had a...
They had a plug in them, didn't they?
They had special facilities, so you could just sort
So
of
it was
interface
actually
it.
plugging it into the audio amplifier, was
I
it?
think so, yes.
Yeah,
I've seen radios where you could plug in a turntable.
That's where you want to plug it in, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and they had a crystal pickup with a large output or something.
Yeah, that's right. And a big heavy arm.
Yes. Well, they actually work surprisingly well.
Oh, yeah.
As
They
with,
do,
our R&D department have testified.
Yes.
You've made great use of it.
Occasionally you see the turntables with the pickup arm
Yeah.
to plug into the radio.
Yes, I have seen those. Yeah, they're
Yes.
good. So that's a... most interesting. Well, that's tremendous. I love hearing those old advertisements. They
Yes.
they say a lot about the times.
I was going to say, they put you
Yes.
right back in the era, don't they?
They did quite a few of those demonstration records. I have quite a few of them, but that one can stay on your shelf, Steve.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to having that.
He can have multiple plays.
Yes, it'll be played regularly on our afternoon sessions.
Absolutely.
Yes, we need to have missions fodder and ad breaks.
Yes.
There's another one coming up now
Yes.
from the 4BK 4AK career mail stations.
Yes, indeed. Let's have a
1 minute drama
listen.
spots.
And it's a 33, 1 minute.
You might,
Roast lamb and green tea.
well, you might need to pick a different track. That one's
Yeah, I reckon that one's a bit fudgy.
What kind of tea do you use there?
That one's a bit.
Yeah, 1 minute cereals they are. Let's jump. One.
Here we go. That's better.
This will be right.
Henry! Henry, must you make those noises? And anyway, the song's not true.
Why not?
Well, the Greeks climbed Olympus and found that Jove and all the rest of the immortals had flown. You can keep Jove's nectar. I'll take Rover tea, the beverage that never fails.
Always remember this, ladies. Rover is consistently good. You can rely on every packet of Rover to bring you fresh, fragrant luxury. Its deliciousness never varies. The 300 Rover free gifts are all of reliable British standard, too. Remember these important points, and if you're not already drinking Rover tea, I'm sure you will from today. Change over to Rover, the purest tea the world can produce.
Well, that was a 1 minute drama.
It was for Rover Tea.
For Rover Tea. That was most excellent. Could we have another one?
Yes, play another
I
one.
wouldn't mind hearing another one. Are they locked grooves? I wonder.
Yes, they are.
They are. So I'm going to do a little bit of a dive over here.
Do a little
You'll need to fill the gap.
Yes.
So here we go. Quickly.
I wonder who the performers are in this.
Yeah. Late 30s.
Yeah, probably late 30s, early 40s.
Okay. Let's have a listen to drama number 2.
The President, 5 minutes here for the President. 5 minutes here for the President. The President, 5 minutes here for the President. Well, thank goodness for that. Oh, what a tiring journey.
Never mind. Come along, Mother, and I'll get you a nice hot cup of tea. That'll put some new life into you.
My dear boy, that's the most welcome thing I've heard this morning. I do hope that it's Rover tea.
Don't worry, it's sure to be, Mother.
If it's Rover tea, I don't care how long the rest of the journey is. For Rover tea is the finest refreshment I know.
There's nothing like a cup of Rover tea to freshen you up and brighten your outfit. Rover Tea brings you extra goodness without extra cost. Write today to the Rover Tea Company for their free gift catalogue of more than 300 beautiful Rover gifts, all of reliable British standard. Rover means better gifts and better tea. Rover, the luxury tea that goes further.
Don't you love the big gong?
Yes,
it's very
very
powerful
official. That's Big Brother's gong. Hey, he sounds like Don Bramman, doesn't he?
He does, yes. There would be the 4BK drama department or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
What's unusual is that you don't see that often radio station labels like that, and you don't see much out of Queensland.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So 4BK is one of the few stations that you see pressings for out of Queensland. The Courier Mail stations.
It's great. So it's you don't see that many 33s from that era either.
No, so that would indicate that it's early too. The fact that it's 33 and a third, and their commercials, they probably even date from the late 30s.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yep. Well, that's good. Here we go.
I'm going to hand you another record.
Okay, I'll take this over the console into my hand. And what's on this one? Oh, A Drop of the Doons, it says. Sung by Sid Hollister.
Yes.
You have to give us some context to this one. This is
he's backed by William Flynn in the orchestra. And it's in relation to the serial Mrs. Ohms and Mrs. Entwistle.
Right.
Which was a popular series on radio in the early 40s, I think 3UZ, and it was a bit similar to Mrs. Obbs, Aris and Iggs, and those sort of programs.
Yes.
And this was a song associated with that program.
Right.
Sid Hollister, of course, was a well-known performer, comedian, and made very few records. The only other record I know of is the Picking a Test Team with Jack O'Hagan.
Oh, yes, that's
with
right.
Jack O'Hagan and Sid Hollister.
Yeah.
And this would date from, again, about 1940.
Okay, fantastic. Another Legionnaire recording on vk3sl Test Missions.
Mrs. Holmes to Mrs. E, life has its compensations. Some folks says the LSD and others rich relations. But me and you, when we feels blue and things is looking queer, we've got a friend to see us through. Heavens, we are here for. When skies are cloudy and you're feeling blue, the roof is leaking, the rent's overdue. The gas man knocks at the door. The milk cow won't leave the milk anymore. The old man comes home without any pie. The wolf has moved into sight. Just a drop of the doings, and everything is okay. Doings will help you along when you're discouraged and things all go wrong. The doings brighten the day, and they keeps the doctor away. When the next door lets a tongue go astray, don't answer back the same way. Just have a drop of the doing, and and everything is okay.
All right.
There we are.
Yeah, that was good.
Top of the Doings with Sid Hollister, William Flynn and the orchestra. And related to that very popular serial or program, Mrs. Arms and Mrs. Entwistle.
Sure. Now, William Flynn would have been quite young in 1941 or thereabouts.
Yes. Now, when was he? Died in about 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And he was born in 1902 or somewhere around there.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because he was around in the 30s.
Yeah.
In the late 20s, 30s.
Sure. We played some William Flynn the other day. I picked up a William Flynn record at the op shop.
You
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a Spotlight.
Ragamuffin Rome. Oh, no, the LP.
Yeah, it was the LP he made for Spotlight, and Astor re-released that.
Yes.
And, so we've been featuring a bit of Mr. Flynn.
Very good. Yes,
Yeah.
he was involved with Spotlight. He was...
yeah, he made quite a few, I think.
He did, yes.
Yeah, sort of party discs.
He did indeed.
But look, a very fine musician. Always, that was particularly well played. We were just saying it sort of had that Glenn Miller sort of cruisiness, didn't it?
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah. No, it was,
in the background with the muted trumpets.
That's it.
It was good stuff.
No, I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed hearing Sid Hollister.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just thinking about a program, and I'd like to throw... Do we have comedy, or do we have like a talent show?
Oh, how about a bit of comedy?
All right.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, I'm going to go and get a bottle of champagne.
hand you this.
Oh, yeah. We're going to celebrate. This is a very special occasion, folks. We are face-to-face missions with real people in a real booth playing real transcription records on real vintage equipment.
We are.
This is our Christmas get-together.
It is.
I've handed Steve a transcription, and we're going to hear an episode of Fourth Form at St. Percy's.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, so what's the fourth?
Oh, yes, what? So
yes.
Now, I think, is that episode 309?
It is indeed 309 and 310 on the other side.
310.
Okay, well, I'll just do a little bit of a
inside start.
Oh, yeah.
Inside start.
We'll just make sure that this is all happening here on the CE table, and I might just get the stylus a little clean.
Have you got a special device to clean your starlight?
Just a little brush.
Yeah.
Just a little brush just to get the dust off and give it a clean.
I wrecked an Autofon stylus trying to overzealously clean.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's easier to do. Just break the cantilever.
And wrecking an Autofon cartridge is
very
something
expensive.
else. That's right.
Yes. Oh, well, I did that with one of my experts recently.
Did you?
Oh, no.
Yes, something fell off the shelf and
Yes, I've had those done, and they're way expensive.
Yeah, $300 a pop.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, mine was 150 anyway.
Oh, still nasty bite.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with this. I think it's all ready to go.
Yeah.
So, yes, queuing up and Fourth Form
At St. Percy's.
St. Percy's.
Is this the same like Rex Door? And
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're in the groove.
Yes.
There you go.
Extra good. Same putting in the neck quiet. Oh, well, good morning, boys. Good morning, sir. Good morning, boys. Now, listen to me. I'm prepared to forget all that disgraceful behaviour at the last lesson if you boys are prepared to settle down today, give me your attention and do some work. Well, look, it doesn't matter what you think about it. If you won't do it voluntarily, I'll jolly soon make you. Last lesson was an absolute disgrace. The word work wasn't even mentioned, let alone do any.
You were late, sir.
All right, I know I was late, but even when I got here, you wouldn't give me your attention, so you can't blame me for it. Now, take out your atlases. We're going to do geography.
Geography?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's better than this, Street.
All right,
yes,
well, now, come on.
Here we are, sir. I got it, sir.
Right. Now, before you open your books, I want to see how much you know about the towns and rivers of India.
India?
Yeah.
Towns and rivers, sir.
All right, David, name 3 towns in India.
Strike.
Well, come on. You should know 3 towns in India.
Oh, I know.
Well?
Gandhi.
Yes, that's one. No! Gandhi? Gandhi's not a town.
Hey?
Gandhi is a person.
Sure. He wears a nightshirt.
Yes, exactly. Of course. But I mean, look, I'd be much better pleased if you kept your remarks to yourself.
Well, I know about him.
Well, so you might, but I want to see if you know the towns and rivers. No, not the people who live there?
Ah.
Yes, Well, go on, Stanford.
Go on, sir.
Yes, give me 3 towns in India. You told us Gandhi, but that was wrong.
Now...
Well, look, give me 1 town.
Now, one town.
Bottomley, do you know?
Oh, strike.
Well, what about Chaff Cutter? Calcutta?
Calcutta?
Yes, what about that?
Well, what about it?
Well, isn't that in India?
What's the map say?
Well, my map says it is.
Oh, well, that'd be right.
Would it?
Sure. Those jokers that make maps know a fair bit about geography.
What?
Well, they know more than I do anyway.
Bottomley, look, if you go on talking like that, you won't know anything. You'll just be going along to a ceremony.
Ceremony?
Yes, there'll be a lot of flowers there, but you won't be able to smell them.
What, a toll of the toad?
Yes, the cold of the day. What? No, you went to the... Serves you right, Bottomley. If you will persist in trying to be funny, you must be prepared to take the consequences.
Right.
And now keep quiet or you'll get some more. If you don't want to learn anything, there are other boys here who do.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. All right, Stanford, take no notice of him at all, and we'll just go on with our work.
Yes.
Right, now where were we? Oh, I remember. Oh, Green Bottle.
Yes, I thought you'd remember me.
Remember you? I regret to announce that I'll never forget you. Never.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, good on you.
Well, look, there's no need for you to be cheeky as soon as you arrive. Bottomley is already in disgrace for that sort of thing, and if you're not careful, you'll get some of the same as he got.
Yeah, see?
Bottomley, look, do you want some more?
No, sir.
All right, well, you'd better be very, very careful.
Yeah.
And now, perhaps, we can get back to this geography. And
we're doing geography.
yes, and I don't want you to hinder our progress either, Green Bottle.
Hinder it?
Yes.
I never hinder anybody.
You do nothing else but hinder people.
No, I don't.
Well, look, what about when you burst in every day late? Do you think that's a help?
Yes.
What?
No.
No. And what made you late today?
Well, I just made a mistake.
Now, listen, don't you dare tell me that you thought today was tomorrow or something. Well, I'm just warning you. I remember once before you made a mistake like that. You said that you thought today was tomorrow, and when you found out your mistake, it was really yesterday or last Thursday week or something.
No, I never.
No, well, look, it doesn't matter about that now. What I want to know is why you were late today.
Yes, well, I made a mistake.
Yes, all right. You told us that. And if you say it again, I'll hit you with this stick, and I'll make no mistake.
Yeah, but I couldn't help it.
You couldn't help what?
I never thought he'd know.
No, of course you would. But... Green Bottle, do you think that I'm a mind reader? Would you mind very much just explaining what you're talking about?
Yes, well, it's perfectly clear to me.
Yes, well, so it might be to you, but as you've told me you haven't told me anything, it's a little difficult to understand it.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, well, what's your difficulty?
Well, it's the part where you... difficulty? My greatest difficulty is to refrain from giving you a kick in the face.
Yeah,
Look, what's this about you didn't think he'd know? Who was that? Your father?
No.
Amazing.
I mean the bloke who called at the window.
At the window?
Yeah.
You mean the man who called at the door?
What door?
Well, how do I know what door? The door of your house, I suppose.
We haven't got a door. We always get in through the window.
Get in through the window?
Yes, of course we do.
What's wrong with sliding down the chimney?
Yes, well,
look.
I consider Bottomley.
Yes, look, and you keep quiet too, Green Bottle. If you're going to start an argument, keep quiet.
I'm not arguing.
No, you're just talking like a hyena. That's all you're doing.
Yes, well, there's no need to have a door if you don't want to. We always find that the guinea pigs have got less chance of getting out if we don't have a door.
Green Bottle.
Yes?
Look, I don't mind if you talk all day, if you'll guarantee that it's not about your home. I've heard quite enough about your place, and I don't want to hear any more.
No.
No, and what's this about the man who called at the door, at the window?
Yes, well, he had a piece of blue paper for me old man.
A piece of blue paper?
Yes, and me old man saw him coming, and he told me he didn't want it.
Oh, I see.
I think his colour's black.
Yes, well, it will be in a minute. He'll be mourning for his son.
Yes, well, anyhow, this chappie came up and knocked at the window.
Oh, did he?
Yes, so I went out to see what he wanted.
Well, that was very good of you.
He said, I want to see your father. And I said, he's not home.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Well,
but then the man said, well, there's his hat on the hall stand. And all I said was,
Yes, but he's too big to stand in the cupboard with his hat on.
Yes, of course. What?
So he came in and looked in the cupboard and gave me old man the paper.
Yes, well, if
Yes,
I...
and the old man gave me hiding because I'd made a mistake.
Well, it serves you right.
Yes, and that's why I was late for school.
Was it?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, what a silly thing to do, wasn't it?
Yes, but, well, all right, look, now that you've told us, Greenbottle, there's no need to say any more about it.
Yeah, no.
No, you've had your say for this lesson, so now keep quiet and give somebody else a chance.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Well, don't say anything, Bottomy. I'll do the talking.
Yes.
And now, if it's not too much of a strain on the mental powers of you boys, we might return to our lessons.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, just before the maniac walked in, I asked a question, and I haven't yet had a satisfactory answer.
Question?
Yes, you should remember that.
Yes, well, I don't remember.
Look, unless you all want to be gagged, keep quiet. I want somebody to tell me 3 towns in India.
Calcutta?
Yes, all right, but I told you that one. Now I want 2 more.
Salt Lake City.
Yes, well, 1 more.
Now, don't tell me, don't you dare tell me.
No, wait a minute. Salt Lake City.
Yes, but I told you that one.
Oh, so you did.
Now, 1 more. Let me see.
No, let me see. I'll,
Well, come on, you ought to know 1 more.
Yes, but I,
Well, make an attempt. Try to think.
Yes, well, look, I don't know this as well as you. What? Just a minute. Look, what do you boys think you're doing? You're not supposed to be asking me. I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Oh, well, I'll have the same again.
Well, make mine a raspberry bomb, too.
I thought you bought the last.
No, don't you remember? What? You thought I didn't come out, bend over. There, Bottomley. That's my answer to that type of behaviour. I wonder how many times I've had to correct you for that sort of thing. You just lead me along until I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're as bad as he is.
No, I'm not.
You were the one who started at Greenbottle, and you can consider yourself very lucky that you didn't get the stick as well.
Oh, yeah.
And what was the name of that Indian town that you gave me?
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
My dear lunatic pupil, it might come as a great shock to you, but Salt Lake City is in America.
Well, I know that.
What are you talking about? I asked you for an Indian town.
They have engines there.
Engines?
Yes, of course they do.
What, motor engines?
No, red engines.
Red engines?
Yes. Me smoke pipe piece. Me big chief smoke in the grass.
What?
You're plenty much big white man. Me no smoke pipe piece with you.
Me not white man, be red Indian.
What on earth do you boys think you're up to this time?
We were telling you about the red engine.
Oh, were you? Well, that's very, very good of you.
Yes, they go.
Greenbottle, look, will you stop that dreadful noise?
But that's how the Indians talk to each other.
They talk to each other?
Yes, of course they do.
How do they? Well, they don't at all. I've never heard anything like it.
But you big white man, you no understand.
No, me plenty then.
Yeah, me go.
What? Oh, so you started too, have you? Listen. Now perhaps you'll keep quiet, Bottomley. Where in the name of fortune do you boys think you are? This is a classroom, not a sideshow in a circus.
Yeah, but
Well, what's the matter with you? You've got nothing. You've got nothing to complain about. You've got nothing more than you deserve.
Yeah, but Greenbottle did that, and he never got the stick.
All right, well I know that, but just because he got away with it, it doesn't entitle you to do it.
Well, I don't reckon it's right to have a pet.
Oh, don't you?
Calm down, Bottomley. I'm not a pet.
Oh no!
Greenbottle, look, hold your tongue, and Bottomley, you mind your own business. I can have a pet if I want to. I mean, I'm the master here, and I'll do what I like.
I've got a pet, sir.
Have you?
Yes, sir. It's a parrot.
Oh, well, Stanford, do you want me to give you the stick?
No, sir.
Well, stop introducing these irrelevant topics.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to hear about your pets.
No.
There's nothing of any great interest to us to learn that you've got a parrot.
No, that doesn't interest us at all.
No, of course it doesn't.
Doesn't interest me anyhow.
No, and I don't blame you, Greenbuck.
No, because I've got one of my own.
Have you?
Yes, and it
Oh,
does.
well,
Boggy, got me one of them.
Greenbuck, look, stop that. Serves you right, Greenbuck. You needn't say you didn't ask for that. You almost demanded the stick.
Sure, nice work, sir, nice work. You did a great job.
Bottomley, look, I don't want any encouragement from you, thank you very much. Yes, So if you know what's good for you, you won't keep reminding me that you're here.
No, see?
Now, look, and I've had quite enough of you for one lesson too, Greenbottom.
Yeah.
Don't you get the idea into your head that you're my pet, as Bottomley called it, because you're not.
No, sir.
No, you see? Greenbottom, so there. Listen, Stanford, Now, look, neither of you, Stanford, so don't you get any ideas either.
Strike.
Look, and don't you all think it's about time that we return to India?
Me ride on horseback. How you go, huh?
Oh.
Hey, Big Chief, me go first. You stay.
Me think you nuts. You stay.
Look, are you boys trying to make me lose my temper?
Yes, sir.
What?
No, sir.
Well, look, you're getting dangerously close to doing it. I didn't ask everybody to start talking like Red Indians.
Why didn't you talk like that, sir?
No, well, all right. You wouldn't know how.
No, him plenty big deal.
Yes,
Big Chief sticking a mud no like him at all.
Me go warriors to throw him out.
Me call mine tail.
Well, look, that's the finish. Look, if you think that I'm going to stay here and be insulted like that, you're quite wrong.
White man, he scram, huh?
Yes, well, good morning, boys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, boys.
To hear all the bells. You don't often get all the bells these days,
right.
do you?
It's school bell.
They
It's
often get chopped.
They
Or
do,
they're,
or they just get automated with sort of boring sounds. The real bell,
yes,
the real school experience.
Very nostalgic.
That's fourth form at St Percy's and produced at 5AD in Adelaide in the 30s.
Yeah, that's great. There was a lot of Yes What's, isn't there? In fact, some of them were put out in CD, I remember.
Yes, and you can buy them all now through the Grace Gibson online shop.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think there was 520 episodes.
Gosh, that's a long tenure, isn't it? 520.
Yeah.
That's years.
And, a lot of the first 208 are missing.
Oh, really? Do they sometimes turn up? Is there like Doctor Who episodes that turn up?
Yeah, there's a few turned up. I've turned a few up over the years, and Bob Hawker turned up some. He's the fellow who wrote the Yes What book with...
Right.
What's the fellow's name? Verm Sumner, I think was the other one.
So what was the inspiration behind it? Someone's
Well, it was the fourth form at St Michael's, basically.
Oh, okay.
It was sort of basically a play on that.
Okay.
And most of the scripts are written by Rex Dorr and also sometimes Ralph Peterson. So you had Jack Gardner as Green Bottle, Ralph Peterson as Bottomley, Jim Williams as Stanford, and Rex Dorr as the principal were the main characters.
Well done, Jamie. That's a roll call.
I'm impressed.
It's impressive. Now, in my hand, I have a Vitatonic. Yes, we do. And this is one of these wonderful wide-range Hillendale Associated Program Service transcription records. And but what I also have in my lap in front of me is the discography of the Associated Transcription records, so we can find out who these people are, because every time I play one of these, I have no idea who's really playing. It's a guessing game because it's all pseudonyms. People change their name.
So I think you look up the number, which is 200.
Okay, so we've got one here. It's number 200A. So I'm going to flip through the book and look it up. So 200A. God, there's lots of them, isn't there? 200. You must have a large number in the collection.
I do have a...
It's 200A. Here we go. 200A is... Yes, Jimmy Dorsey's Orchestra. Now, they give you a bit of a clue because the name on the label says James Dalton.
Yes.
JD. Jimmy Dorsey. Yes, so I will have a listen to this. I've got to fire up the Buyer. The Buyer needs to be cranked up and initiated. So what do we do? I've got to remember there's a few processes here. I've got to switch the motor on. Then we put it into gear. It's like driving a tractor, actually. These machines are so agricultural. All right, now James Dalton, put that on. I've got the Hillendale stylus all set up, ready to go. So, and the other thing I've got to...
Did it have a date in that book or not?
Oh, I should have looked that up. Number 200, I've just closed the page. It'd be interesting to know. The date helps, and it really highlights how amazing the Western Electric system was. Here we go, 1935. So there we is.
Does it say who the vocalist is or anything?
Doesn't say who the vocalist is. It says Jimmy Dorsey, I've got a feeling you're fooling and you're my lucky star. So we'll listen to the lot because I want to hear these. And the 23rd of the 9th of 1935.
Yes.
All right, so just check that we've got a bit of stylus awakeness. There we go. I can get ready, and I might give these a clean. They seem to work better if they've had a bit of a clean. So I've got my little cleaning tool here. Yes, there's a lot of theatre that goes into putting on a on a recording here. It's quite a theatrical experience. We're giving it a clean now.
It's a bit like pipe smoking.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yes,
half the fun of smoking the pipe, and I
It
speak
is.
as someone who used to,
Yes.
is getting it ready and, and lighting it up. And
I actually used to smoke a pipe as well, Frank.
Did you, Steve?
For a
Yes.
little bit, just
Yes.
for a bit. Just to
I like the smell of the pipe.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes. There's a certain, yes, the whole process. All right, now here we go, into the groove, and let's listen to the music of Jimmy Dorsey. This is VK3SL testing.
It's time for promenading, and I'll be with you soon. All the best folks are parading on a Sunday afternoon. We'll rent a horse and carriage, and I'll be proud of you. We'll talk about a marriage on the busy avenue. And then we'll ride to the countryside. I'll burst with pride. In my Sunday gown, I'll be the talk of the town. Now you can have the twilight, and you can have the moon. Give me those happy moments on a Sunday afternoon.
Okay, right, we're right to go. We've just been listening to one of these remarkable Vitaphone transcription discs, and we've been.
I do like Vitaphone discs too.
Yeah, they're good as well. Yes, that's another story. But these records are just so far. It just sounds amazing in here, and you get the room ambience, and they're beautifully balanced, and it uses the very best of Western Electric's. Equipment at that time. So that recording was from 1935, and I am going to turn it over so we can hear the other side.
It's Jimmy Dorsey on the other side too, I think.
I think so. Yes, it is. Indeed it is. That's right. So this side is I Wished on a Moon, and I've got a note.
Another recordings from 1935.
From 1935. And it says on the label, in big words, wide range Western Electric sound system. Well, I celebrate that sound.
Absolutely.
And it just goes to show they really had it all worked out.
Oh, yes.
Way back then.
And these were played on 3AW back in the day.
That's great. I suppose no one would have had a receiver good enough to be able to hear them.
But imagine listening to these on a valve radio in the 30s.
Yeah.
Imagine the sound.
Yes, it would have been good.
With the pickup, with the right sort of Western Electric pickup.
With as full a range speaker as you could get at that time.
That's it. Well, I think we're almost ready to go. Jimmy Dorsey and the orchestra. And I'm vk3sl. Test missions.
Something I never knew. Wished on the moon for more than I ever knew. A sweeter rose, a softer sky, and an April day that wouldn't dance away. I begged of a star to throw me a beam or two. Wished on a star and asked for a dream or two. I looked for every loveliness and it all came true. I wished on the moon for you.
This is vk3sl, and we're testing here on 160. We have Jamie and Frank with us, and we're doing a
Delighted
face-to-face.
to be here.
Absolutely.
It's good fun. And we're playing Vitaphone transcription records at the moment, and we're back on board. Track number 2, Jimmy Dorsey and the orchestra.
His song the whole day long. I haven't got a shoe and I haven't got a song. Still I sing the whole day long. I got a note.
He's got a note. And she's got a note.
I didn't choose it.
Well, don't ever lose it while you've got that note.
I got a note.
It's still the same note. It's one octave higher, but still the same note. Say, look, Skeeter, they've gone on to another note. Do you like that note better than the other note?
I like this note.
He likes this note. I like that note.
I like the first one.
Well, it's the worst one.
I still like this note.
He's got a note. And it sure is a high note, yeah.
Is his key stuck?
Man, that sure is a pretty note. Is that his only note? I think he's off his note. Did you say no?
Yeah, we're just celebrating the ambience, the full scope of a wide range recording from the 1930s, 1935. Yeah. That was made. So, we're sampling Vitaphone discs today, or at this point.
Now, the next one, is it Emil Coleman? Is it A204 or something?
It is indeed. Now, on the label it says Edmund Clare. Now, we're just surmising, we're just speculating at least, about how they may have come up with it. I reckon someone in the office just said,
come up with...
Yeah, that's my daughter's name.
Yeah, that's it.
So, maybe... But the pseudonyms abound, and it's quite a detective story. You have to, in fact, when we're looking up the discography here, which is just such a useful resource, when we were checking it, we had to refer to a secondary list, so it's quite convoluted.
There were 2 copies of 204. There was a 204 and an A204.
That's right. So we're going to listen to 204B now. It's Edmund Clare, and we'll listen to the second track on this. It's called Strike Me Pink. It's a Brown Henderson tune, and we're enjoying music from the Associated Music Publishers, and these are particularly special because the Hillendale records made with the best equipment at the time, and they are very early examples of hi-fi.
Indeed.
They certainly are.
So, yeah, we're in the groove, I think.
Emil Coleman.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely sound. What's that called?
Yeah.
Strike Me Pink, was it?
I think so.
Strike
yeah.
Me Pink, yes.
Strike Me Pink.
If it were Bo McCackey, it'd be Strike Me Lucky.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yes. Well, there we go. So we're sampling real records here, and these are Hillendale discs from the Associated Recording Program Service. Jamie has virtually their whole archive at his disposal.
I do have a lot, yes.
Which is a wonderful resource, and we're just savouring in these because they just sound so good.
They do.
Next one, I'm going to switch in the big speaker at the back.
208. Now, it's the Dorsey Brothers, but I don't know who the other side is.
Yeah, 208B is George Gregory. Let's look it up. 208B. I've got the anthology in front of me, 208.
No, I can't think who GG would be.
No.
Okay, here we go.
Glenn
Looking
Gray,
it up.
no.
We're getting there.
Could be Glenn Gray, could it?
Oh, it could be, indeed. 208, standby, and Charles Magnate, Tantalising and Dark Eyes. No? 208B. That's weird.
B.
Oh.
No, 208Bs. Yeah. I reckon some of these are duplicated.
Oh.
I know, you're right. It's two 208Bs.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
That's weird. Okay, so we got that one. 208A is the Dorsey Brothers. 208B is Glenn Gray.
Glenn Gray.
Yes.
Would you like to hear Glenn Gray?
I think we should hear both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, I reckon. Yeah.
The Dorsey Brothers, they're both great orchestras.
They certainly are. And this is interesting. It actually does say Dorsey Brothers on the label here. So I reckon they must have been in between contracts with other labels.
So.
Sounds like it.
So they got a foot in the door.
They wouldn't put that on the label, on the cover.
That's it. So we're just doing the usual thing here, the theatrical experience of cleaning the grooves, oiling the buyer, and
very good.
And which we probably should give the stylus a clean because we have to do things in correctly here. You've got to be correct.
Part of the ritual.
There is.
They don't quite sound the same if the stylus
Oh,
is.
no, absolutely.
no,
Can't have dust on the needle, folks.
No.
So anyhow, we're advancing this now. We're about to do a lower. Whoops, no, too close to the edge. Standing
Dorsey
on by
Brothers.
for the Dorsey Brothers Orchestra.
anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If there is and you know her, show her to me, oh Dinah. Keeps your Dixie eyes blazing, how I love to sit and gaze in to the eyes of Dinah Lee. My darling, every night, why do I shake with pride? I'm shaking 'cause dynamite change your mind about me. Dinah, if you wandered to China, I would hop an ocean liner just to be with Dinah Lee. About a gal named Dinah. I wonder if there's anyone finer down in the state of Carolina. Crazy about Dinah Lee. And if she wandered down to China, I would hop myself an ocean liner just as I could be with my sweet Dinah, to be with Dinah Lee. Every night, why do I shake with fright? I'm shaking 'cause dynamite change your mind about me. Dinah, if you wanted to China, I would hop an ocean liner just to be with Dinah Lee.
Okay, we're just standing by for the next track, and I've got the other speakers on, so we're getting a bit of feedies back, so we'll just cue it now. Okay. Whoops. Just get myself back on mic. Yeah, we're listening to classical recordings made for the Vitatone Associated Recording Transcription Recorded Services, and back in the 30s. This is they're extraordinary. They're quite a visceral experience hearing it with the bass.
Oh, you can hear the mandolin, the drums and everything.
Yeah,
it's
good.
amazing.
You can actually feel the bass.
You can, that's right. Now, we had the RCA Speaks tuned in. We're sort of wondering what the neighbours might be thinking, but it's all in the name
It's all
of
insulated.
art. It's in the name of art.
We turn it up a little more that they might come and tell us what they're thinking.
Well, yes, maybe they will. But there we go. Well, look, I think we'll hear the other side.
Glenn Gray in the orchestra.
It is Glenn Gray, so we'll do that. I've just got to remember to turn the amp off in between, otherwise we'll get mega feedback, which will certainly raise people's eye.
Especially if you keep your headphones on.
That's right.
Okay. They're fascinating. They're transparent, these records. You can see through them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they red?
Yeah, they're red vinyl, and I can see my hand through the other side.
Wow.
Yeah. So George Gregory, which is Glenn Gray, we've ascertained that, and I think this is from that same period, about 1935.
Yes.
So... and the tracks here are Ball and the Jack and Linger a While. I'll give it a clean. And but these are wonderful. And these actually came from the 3AW archive.
3AW, yes.
Yeah, great. So
there were a couple of keen engineers at the day who were keen on these recordings, and they took them home.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What they could. A lot were destroyed, but they took a lot home.
Really? And that's the source of this collection.
That's right.
Fantastic. Yeah, these tracks are so striking. Whoops, I'll just have to turn these.
That is astonishing.
Yeah.
Glenn Gray.
Yeah, Glenn Gray's orchestra. What a sound. What an amazing band. Really slick and beautiful arrangements. We're just trying to work out who some of these soloists might have been. It's hard to know. I suppose one would just have to look at the commercial recordings made around this time and make an educated guess, because there's really not a lot of information.
It was lovely to hear Ball and Jack too. You don't often hear that.
Yeah, sure. Now that's a real find. That last track just sounded so real, and you get a real sense of depth because of the way the miking, and that, as Frank, you were saying, the piano being, though it was off mic, it just had that, you could place it in the texture.
Well, you got that depth, as you say.
Yeah.
That sense of sort of where it is, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, these are transcription records made for the Associated Recorded Program Service, and we're sampling these.
We're going to
from
move
Jamie's
to 209.
Yeah, 209B. Now, this is Claude Harris on the label, but in reality...
Claude Hopkins, is it, or something?
That's right, Claude Hopkins, and there's another name associated with this as well. It's Fred Norman. Claude Hopkins and Fred Norman. I don't know what the...
No, I don't know.
Oh, Fred Norman's the vocalist, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
He's lucky to get a mention.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, we were saying before that often they don't get a mention.
No, that's right.
It's unusual for vocalists in the, particularly the earlier jazz era. They weren't held in the highest esteem.
It's interesting that when they did start to get named, they're mostly women. Nearly all women.
Sure.
That's true.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, well, there's two tracks on this one. There's Lazy Bones, the Hoagie Carmichael song.
Great song.
Yeah, and Mr. Norman sings on that. And then there's the Claude Hopkins track called Sweet Horn. It says Fast Foxtrot. So
all right.
We'll hold our horses for that one. And there's a long break between, so I won't need to announce in between, but you just, there's the dead air is just a part of the programmatic. So we'll just give this a clean. And yes, there's a lot of dust on these, so...
yes, they probably haven't been cleaned since I played at 3AW.
Yeah, I find with the Hill and Dale discs, it does make a big difference, actually.
Yes.
Do they tend to collect, do they?
They seem to, yeah. But that's okay. We're all set, ready to go. And let's have another listen to an authentic fighter tone pressing from the 1930s. 1935, I think. This is vk3sl. Testing on 160 and 2 metres.
Sleeping in the sun, boy. How you expect to get your day away done, huh? Never get your day's work done. Sleeping in the evening sun. Let's look at it now. Lazy bone. Sleeping in the hay. How you ever expect to make a dime that way, huh? Never make a dime that way, brother. Snoozing in the noonday hay. Boy, when taters needs brain, I bet you keep praying that the bug just drop off the vine. And when you go fishing, I bet you keep wishing that the fish don't grab at your line. Just look at you now. Lazy bone, sleeping in the shade. Boy, how's you gonna ever expect to get your cornmeal made, huh? You ain't gonna never get your cornmeal made. They're sleeping in the evening shade. Boy, lazy boy, snoozing in your bed. If I didn't hear you snoring, boy, I swear you was dead. Sleeping so doggone sound. Why, brother, you don't even know what's going on around. No, sir. Lazy bone. But boy, you got it bad. All the time pounding your ear on that confounded pad. got your kneecaps all worn away from crawling in the head 6 and 7 times a day. When everybody's working, you lean around and shaking. Boy, you was born tired. That's a fact. But if this NRA gets the showers, it's going to cut down on them sleeping hours and snatch that mattress right square over your back. You wait and see. Lazy bone, sleeping just like a log. Boy, you ain't gonna never amount to nothing that way, you lazy dog. Sleeping in the sun all day. Boy, you living, but your body is done passed away. Yowza.
a soft horn, chasing my blues away. It's a mellow horn, kind of smooth horn. I hear your sweet tunes all day. Soft lights and cocktails for me. When you hear that horn, you'll sure agree it's a sweet horn. It's a mellow horn, chasing my blues away. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, chasing my blues away. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Hear your sweet tunes all day. Soft lights and cocktails for me. When you hear that horn, you'll sure agree it's a sweet horn. Soft horn, chasing my blues away.
Right.
Well, we are still shell-shocked.
Yeah, waxing lyrical. It's we've been turning the volume up a little bit too loud for a mid-suburbia.
Yes, no word from the neighbours yet, but
no, not yet.
We're listening.
It's on the cards. Look, that's incredible, really. When you hear the maracas, all the
those transients are incredible.
Oh, they are. Yeah. The percussion is just full of life. Beautifully balanced recordings made in the 30s, and that's the thing. I mean, really, even back then they had it all worked out.
They did, yes.
And so I think
we're going to hear one more.
Yeah.
Another Glenn Gray. I think this is 210. Is that right?
Yes, indeed it is. 210. George Gregory, it says. I'm not
George
right.
Gregory.
Which is we've now ascertained as Glenn Gray. 2 tracks. Dixieland Band, which is a foxtrot with vocal refrain. Don't know who that is. And the other one is The Man I Love, which is from Struck Up the Band. Good Gershwin tune. So, yeah, again, same year. I think these are all from that period. This 200 series.
Yep.
And it's quite an experience hearing these in their true full glory. Yeah, I think we're right to go. Hill and Dale Heaven.
You bet.
Did you ever hear the story of the Dixieland Band? Let me tell you, brother, that the music was grand. They had piano and a clarinet. Only thing they needed was a second cornet. And that's what led to the ruin of the Dixieland Band. When the folks would holler for the maple leaf rag, they would get the swinging, but the trumpet would drag. They had to keep him because he played so sweet, but they needed someone who could give them the beat. Someone who swung with the rhythm of the Dixieland Band. He'd play so sweetly. Instead of playing, he'd play so sweetly, and they'd be saying, sure enough, he got him so they couldn't play right. Finally, he fixed him on a Saturday night. He hit a figure that was off the chord. Apoplexy got him and they went to the Lord. And that's the pitiful story of the Dixieland Band. Now they're up in heaven and they're happy at last, 'cause they found a trumpet man that really can blast. The way he swings them is an awful shame. He can really do it, Gabriel is his name. And now folks, here is a sample. Listen to the Dixieland Band. And if you hear a trumpet start to play, don't you get a fit that it's a judgment day. Just Mr. Gabriel sounding his A. And the Dixieland Band is fixing to play.
What a great note to end the session on Vitatone recordings for tonight's missions. Unusual not to hear a vocal in that.
Interesting. But amazing arrangements, fantastic orchestras and bands, and all under pseudonym, of course. And
Yes.
a fascinating resource because it just shows what they could do.
Just sensational, and hopefully we'll get to come and play a lot more.
Yeah,
Definitely. Not that he's fishing for an invitation.
I think we'll definitely pursue this line. There's no doubt about that.
We'll have a regular a segment of Vitatonies.
Yeah, definitely. Vitatonics. Yeah, well, thanks for that, Jamie. That was
Yes,
a
indeed.
real
Thank
treat.
you,
It was great to
Jamie.
hear that. And I'd forgotten how great Glenn Gray's orchestra
Oh,
was.
he's marvellous.
So had I.
Just a tremendous ensemble. So I'll be looking them up. I'll be, yes, lots of points of departure.
Yes.
Yay. Well, let's see. We've got another transcription record of a different kind.
Yes, this is an experimental 33 1/3 Victor program transcription service. In 1932, they put out a series of these. Some recordings were dubs of 78s, and others were only recorded for that particular, for the Victor program service.
Sure.
So I've always been fond of them, and I've bought them up over the years whenever I've been able to find them.
Yeah, they're very, very rare. I've never seen them sort of in the field.
They don't turn up here. No,
No.
bought them. I've always bought them overseas.
Sure. Okay.
So and they had some great recordings on them. As this one.
Yeah, for sure. This one is Hot Char and Face the Music. It's the music of Irving Berlin. And we hear Paul Whiteman and the orchestra. So, yeah, let's have a listen.
Have we got an approximate date for that?
1932.
32, right.
Yeah. So these are transcription records. They're 33, and as Jamie said, it's an experimental service.
33, yeah.
At that time, you don't see many 78s, coarse groove.
No.
It's with 33.
That's right.
Okay, I think.
And it's got the spider web backing on it, I think. Is that right?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Okay, let's have a listen.
Music sweet, lights are low. He'll repeat, love you so. There I go, dreaming again. Wedding bells, month of June, fare thee well, honeymoon. There I go, dreaming again. With my dreamland lover, I'll ride away. No one will discover. I'll hide away. With a love so divine, I'll be here. He'll be mine. There I go, dreaming again.
Say what I want to hear you say. Say it any kind of way, and it's bound to be okay. Oh, if you say you're willing, I'll see you through, or it will sound so part of life, and I can't believe in fight. Don't you want to compromise? But love right to me any time of the day. And say what I want to hear you say.
And this is vk3sl. Test missions on 160. Back to reality now. We have to fade the program from last Friday because it's time to wind up our sessione for today and for the season. And you've been listening to vk3sl test missions, and we are transmitting. Hello, I've got some humbuckle there in the system. I wonder what that's all about. All right, well, that needs to be investigated at another time. And yeah, we'll wind up at this point, and that was actually last Friday night. Yes, Friday the 11th, we had a late night session with Jamie and with Frank. Well, look forward to your company again in the future. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to present, but we will find a pathway. There'll be an opportunity to play. There's so much OTR material at our disposal. I really like to celebrate the best of it, and particularly material that sort of has cultural implications. Yeah, deals with the speech and the manner of the times. It's always a point of intrigue. Well, let's say cheerio at this point. Thank you for your support of these missions over the last 7-8 months or more, longer, 9 months. And yeah, we've made this a bit of a continuum, and as I said, there will be further missions. Do refer to the blogspot. That's vk3sl.blogspot.com. That's the go-to place for any further information. Now, to wind up today, as our very last offering, we've been listening to All We Like Sheep from the Messiah, from Handel's Messiah. Well, in this instance, I think we will move ahead to the end of the work. At the end of the Messiah, there's a wonderful Amen. It's presented as a fugue. It's just expansive and wonderful, and I think that might be a nice way to finish up our session. So, thanks again. Keep safe, keep well, enjoy the Christmas break, and there will be future missions for sure. Certainly on Friday nights. I think that'll keep going, at least for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll review things. This is VK3SL testing on 160 and streaming online.